Greetings, my name is Kevin Matthews, and I want to welcome you back to Rapid Shots here at the Tax Academy. Where class is still in session because the learning never stops. And I'm going to tell you, I decided to put a video together to talk about this topic because I just thought it was kind of interesting. It's something that I had heard of somebody doing before. I mean, it doesn't always work out, but it is something that I think is kind of neat. Especially, as many of you will notice if you go to my website, I'm a former United States Naval officer. I served in the military and I work with a lot of veterans. Many of the veterans that I work with are over at Walter Reed. And so what ends up happening is, in some of the unique circumstances that end up happening with a lot of those veterans, we actually discovered some tax deductions that a lot of veterans weren't taking. Now, the tax deduction we're going to be talking about is medical related. Now, if you are military and you get that wonderful thing called TRICARE, you probably haven't gotten a medical deduction before. And in order to learn more about the medical deduction, my recommendation would be to go see our video on that, and we'll put the link up to that here at this time. But essentially, the medical deduction, the biggest problem that we have is this thing called the 10% floor. So what they're going to do is they're going to take 10% of your income, and they're going to say, look, all of your expenses above that 10% of your income are going to be deductible. Everything below it, personal expense, non-deductible. So what ends up happening is that most people, especially in the military, because most of the people in the military are not paying a whole lot for their medical. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people join the military is, the old adage used to say in World War II, free medical, free food, free everything, and then you get your pay. And of course, some of the recruiters back then were probably exaggerating things a little bit, but that's not the purpose of why we're here today. But the fact is that because of the medical, the way it is, they haven't been paying, getting tax deductions on this. Here's the thing, once you leave the military and you get this tax-free income and you're no longer in the service, and especially if you're one of those veterans who is 100% disabled, you may be having to make certain adjustments to your house in order to be able to better accommodate you. Now, what will end up happening is, when you make an improvement to your house, if it increases your value to that house, that is not going to be tax deductible. However, if you spend a lot of money and it does not increase the value of the house, that expense is going to be tax deductible. Now, if you have one of those weird expenses that kind of does a little bit of both, very good example. Say, for example, I am 100% disabled. I've got back issues. My doctor comes to me and says, hey, you know what, Kevin, I want you to do more swimming. Getting to the swimming pool, we'll say I live in an area where getting to the swimming pool is not an easy thing to do. So I decide I'm going to build a swimming pool in my house. Now, building a swimming pool in the house, maybe I spend, say, $20,000 building the swimming pool in my house. I call up a real estate agent and say, hey, I have my house, I just built a swimming pool here. How much did my house go up in value as a result of that? Well, with the swimming pool, we could probably sell your house for $10,000 more. So you see that you spent $20,000 and increased your value by $10,000. You have this kind of a hybrid expense as a result of this. So what do you get for a medical tax deduction? Well, the $10,000 that your house increases in value, you do not get a tax deduction off of. The $10,000 that did not increase the house value, you will get a tax deduction off of. And that's actually something that could be an overlooked or missed tax deduction as a result of which. I have had one client who recently had major hip issues and was required by his doctor to get a hot tub. That was a fully deductible expense because the hot tub was not something that's going to be affixed to the house and not going to increase the value of the house. Now, if he had the hot tub and he had one of those that was like improved and it was built into the ground and it was part of like a swimming pool structure that he did, could have been a different story. So when you're doing this, you probably want to make sure that you're working with a tax professional, and that would be an EA, CPA, or a tax attorney. And if you don't have one, my recommendation would be to get one as soon as possible, because if you're going to be doing something like this to save money, you probably want somebody who's on your side who actually knows what they're doing in order to be able to better handle this. That's all I got to say about that. If you want to leave any comments in the comment box below, I'll try to respond to them as soon as possible. Or if you want to reach out to me for a more one-on-one, you reach out to me at my website at www.betasolutionscpa.com. Again, that's www.betasolutionscpa.com. Also, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you have taken a look at some of the other videos and you really like the series, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.